What up, family? Key and Will in the building. Welcome to the More You Know podcast.
Where, when you know better, you do better.
Listen, I'm Willie Arnold. This is
Key Arnold in the
Keisha
building.
Arnold. We go by Key and Will.
Hey.
So we
everybody.
wanted to. What's going on, family?
Welcome to our podcast today. Make sure you like, subscribe, and
Like
even
and
leave
subscribe,
us a comment.
please.
Leave a comment
Hey,
for
listen,
us.
Key.
We love
I do
comments.
want to say that our podcast has been doing phenomenal. And I want to thank all of our
Thank you,
family. I
guys.
call all our friends family. So all of our family out there who supports us and what we do. And the goal of our podcast is really to show things that you might not have known or how to get more information. Of course, we're realtors here in Atlanta. We do real estate. That's what we do. But also, we want to share some other important information that, whether it's health, wellness, things that could really help them.
And even
going
motivate,
forward.
maybe something motivational. I like to think that we bring a message about lifestyle and positivity and living your best life.
Intentionally, purposeful living.
Absolutely.
So the reason we wanted to just come together really briefly is to talk about a condition that I actually have. I have a heart condition.
What is your heart condition, Willie?
It's just full of love. It's full of love. But I do have a serious medical condition.
He does.
And we posted about it. Might have been a couple years ago.
I think this all transpired during the pandemic. So this was 2020 because you would have been having open heart surgery during the pandemic. But God led us differently. And we decided not to have the surgery. But it was very scary because to think about being in the hospital, having open heart surgery in the ICU, and I wouldn't have been able to be there. So that was very scary.
That was a factor as well. And it's crazy because when I met with my cardiologist, I asked him,
cardiothoracic surgeon.
Yes, the surgeon.
Because it's bigger than a cardiologist, let's be clear.
Yes, the surgeon. And I asked him, so how do you go in there and make the adjustments?
So how about we back up a little bit?
Okay.
Let's provide a little
context,
history.
A little context.
We do have a video talking about kind of the whole aortic aneurysm and what that is. You can click on we'll post the video here. So if you guys are interested, you can go back to it. But just to give a little bit of history, Willie has a condition called an aortic aneurysm, and that means that his aortic root measures. So your aorta is essentially, I'm not a clinical at all, but it is a part of your heart, your muscle that helps the blood flow through the rest of your body. But the root of his aorta measures a lot larger than a normal person's. And so, there are things that we want to make sure that doesn't get any bigger because, that could cause some other major issues. And so we try to keep watch on the size of it. The original plan, our cardiothoracic surgeon recommended that Willie have open heart surgery. And so when he recommended that you have open heart surgery,
Lord.
Because they have to actually open your chest
That's what
cavity.
I was getting to because I asked my surgeon, I said, what is the process? And he said, well, we actually saw your chest open.
He didn't say saw.
He said saw, like saw. He said he's going to saw my chest open.
He did not say saw. Let's be clear. I don't want that out there.
No, but in essence.
They crack your chest open, essentially.
They saw it opens up. So they say, and then they get these sort of forks and they sort of open your
forks.
Yes, you get these forks and they open your chest up. And
forceps.
Forceps, and they have you wide open. And the concept, because really I got up to the pre-op.
We went to the pre-admission testing. So Willie was supposed to have his surgery on a Monday. We were getting our pre-op and all the pre-admission testing done with that Friday before. And so we came home that Friday evening.
Listen, y'all, we need to pause because I want y'all to know how serious this thing is. My condition is very serious. However, it wasn't causing any issues. It was an incidental finding when I went to get an echocardiogram and you can see the other video.
Because of some
get
other
into that. Yeah,
reasons.
some other reasons, but they
Yeah.
found it, and so it was more preemptive, saying, "Hey, this could be an issue."
Right.
So the surgeon recommended I go ahead and just get it done, so I don't have a problem. So there's not a higher chance of me having issues. So we were being more proactive.
I wanted to have him have it done because I'm all about preventative, just being proactive.
Right.
Get something done so that you don't have to be reactive, especially if the aorta, the part of his aorta that measures larger than it is gets bigger, then we have bigger issues.
Yeah.
So we don't want that to happen. So my thought is, let's just be proactive and get the surgery done. We had the best cardiothoracic surgeon. We were going to be very well taken care of. We're prayed up and we're believers and we're faithful. And so I didn't have any doubt, but I wasn't the one going through it. However, we were very nervous about.
I had doubts.
He had
not at first, honestly, because when Keith said, let's do it, I was like, yeah, let's be proactive. We both had some losses prior to that. Our parents had passed away, so we was like, you know what, let's get this done so we can be proactive to have a longer life. So we agreed upon that. But then as we got closer, and I really started thinking about it, praying about it, there was just this feeling like,
We came home that Friday after his pre-op, and Will looked at me and said, "Key, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do it." We both just cried. We just broke down in each other's arms, really, and just we really just cried about it. So we said, well, let's pray about it over the weekend and see how we feel, because we had to let him know we were supposed to show up for surgery, or I was gonna have to literally drop him off, you guys. This was 2020 during the pandemic. I was gonna have to drop him off at the door and leave him. That was what made me very anxious, was thinking about leaving him. And if you guys know anything about healthcare or being in the hospital, you have to have an advocate for you when you are
Facts.
in the hospital. Someone needs to be there asking questions, pushing the clinicians, not getting in their way, but just making sure you understand what is going on with your loved one's health. And I just am a believer that, and I'm his advocate, so I wanted to be there.
He's my local physician.
I was trying to push to be there and wrote all kind of letters, to our hospital administrators to try to get approval to be there, to make an exception to let me be there, and they wouldn't budge. So that was the one thing I was very anxious about. But long story short.
Yep. We came home, we thought about it, we prayed about it, and I said, Key, I don't want to have it. And I'm getting teary thinking about it. Forgot that moment, but we decided not to do it. And we called. I sent a message to the
Saturday
to the surgeon's office. And I was like, hey, we decided, because I had got the testing. I was in the hospital. I got all the pre-op stuff done.
Right.
But I was like,
I think when they talked about, so there are a couple of things, you guys. Number one, Willie wasn't symptomatic. The only reason and you guys will hear that in our previous YouTube video, the only reason you knew about it was because you had a little bit of anxiety after your mom passed away, had a heart rate was a little higher, much higher than it should have been.
So high that my Apple Watch was going off.
Yeah.
Like, it was like.
Yeah, shout out to Apple, because it started to go off to indicate that something wasn't quite right. You went to the hospital. We went afterwards, got a follow-up, totally unrelated. They did the echo and found out that his aorta was enlarged, but it was not related to the heart rate issue that he had before. So thank God that, sometimes God gives you a little nudge to say, check on something. Check on something's not right. If something's not normal going on inside your body or you're symptomatic, get it checked out, you guys. It's so important. Don't let things linger.
Yeah. So that was something serious, and we just decided not to do it. And then my surgeon was like, okay, basically, I told
Highly
you.
recommend.
And then, I was like, I felt like, I really felt like God had me covered. Now, don't get it misunderstood. If I need to get it done,
Absolutely.
crack me open and get in there. But I
Right.
felt like at that moment that God had me, and that's a fine line, because sometimes folks don't don't listen to the medical advice and totally.
Yeah.
God gave us, you know, physicians to advise us. God gave us family members to advise us. God gives us Himself. And I think when we went to prayer about it, I think He revealed that now is not the time.
Right. Right.
So,
So fast forward, we went back to our cardiothoracic surgeon to say, after we decided we weren't going to do it, he said, okay, well, fine. He said, at that time, every 6 months, you'll come in for a CAT scan. And it's what is it? A CAT scan?
yeah,
What is it? Arteriogram? No.
CTA,
Yeah, or
angio, yeah,
angiogram,
angiogram,
CAT
yeah.
scan angiogram, where they do take a look at the heart.
Yeah, they put in the contrast.
Yeah.
And it goes through your veins, and they can see the vessels and all that. So it's
A little bit more intricate
more.
not invasive. They're not cutting you open or anything, but more invasive than an echocardiogram. An echocardiogram is just an ultrasound. This CT angiogram, they do inject dye through the veins, and they take pictures through a CAT scan to see how the heart, a little bit, more intricately,
Yeah.
is doing. So every 6 months, you had been getting
They said
since 2020.
Yeah, they said everything
No
looks
changes,
good.
no changes.
No changes. It hasn't grown, because the agreement in a sense was,
Right.
if it gets worse, if it continues to grow, we got to do what we got to do.
Something. Yeah.
However, if
The surgery.
but if it stays where it is and it doesn't grow, we're gonna
And
just
he's
hold.
not symptomatic, not having
not having
pain.
issues. We're gonna hold tight.
Right.
So for 2 years, I went every
And
6
everything
months.
was status quo.
And my surgeon said that, hey, you've been doing pretty well. Let's go to once a year.
Right.
Which I was like, thank you, because I don't. That dies but yeah. So we went to once a year, and we just went last week.
Yep.
I went to my folks at Emory. They took care of me as they always do, and got the CAT scan done. Went through the process, and we got the results the next day. And I said, Key, it's always, you're always nervous, because I'm like, is this it, right? So I got the results. You get notified on
the
your
portal.
phones, on the portal. I logged in. The results were there, and it said,
Yeah. So I'm the one who's like always
this is my physician.
data
But I said,
driven.
Key. He said, well, I knew it said, no
changes.
It didn't increase, but
Yeah.
the measurements seemed smaller.
Right.
I said, man, I thought it was like 5 centimeters, but it says 4.8.
Yeah. So when just frame of reference, when we did the first echo, we got the first echo back in 2020, it measured 5.1 centimeters. I don't know what a normal size is. I'd have to go back and look. It's much smaller than
Like
that.
three something.
I think from 1 centimeter to probably 3 centimeters is normal. His was 5 at the time. Then fast forward to last week, he went and got his follow-up CTA, and it was 4.8. And I was like, wait a minute. I'm going through my notes because I kept notes of everything. I'm going through my notes. I was like, babe, I think this is smaller. Yeah. So we always expect that, for the past 2 years, every 6 months, and then a year, status quo, no change. We never expected that it was going to be smaller.
Yeah. So I was like, thank you, Jesus.
Yeah. That's miraculous to us.
It's miraculous. It may be just 0.2 to you all, but to me, that's major, because a point could be a difference between life and death. So the fact that it decreased
significantly,
and I was texting Key, and we were sort of going. She said, "It's small. I think it's small." I said, Yeah, it is. And we was like, God is amazing.
Amazing. He
So
is
I
truly
continue to get,
amazing.
yeah, I continue to get my exam once a year.
So, what are some things you do, just every
So,
day? What do you
yeah,
think maybe contributed to that? We don't know. We haven't gone back to the surgeon to officially get the results. We got them on the
yeah.
portal.
Yeah,
But
we wanted to have this podcast because we did have folks reach out to us who also have heart problems
yeah,
and was asking some questions. So we said, you know what, let's just do a quick podcast on it. But what we do is, when I was told about the condition, they were basically saying, I can't do anything strenuous.
right.
So,
To
fellas,
strain,
fellas, you know
don't
how we in the
strain.
gym, we putting them plates on, we like, let's go, 225, boom, 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 add another one. Can't do that no more.
Yeah, no, that's not a good idea because you don't want to
So
strain the heart.
don't want to strain.
You don't want to
So
put
I
any
put my
more.
little plates on and I just rep it out.
But they do say that any type of cardio is fine. We jog a little bit, walk a little bit,
Yeah.
and so they do encourage you to stay heart healthy.
Right. So you basically listen to your body. So what I do now is I do sprints. Key is the runner. She runs for miles, and I'll see her in a couple hours. But I do sprints up and down my driveway. I keep it simple. I come in, I do my weights. In between the sets, I'll sprint to the end of the driveway, sprint
You'll
back.
run with me
I run with her
sometimes.
sometimes, but
And then you also eat healthy. We
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 try to eat healthy.
we try to eat, green leafy vegetables. We eat a lot of spinach. We do a lot of egg whites. We do apple cider vinegar. Try to do it every morning just for his blood pressure. That's another thing that can contribute to your heart working too much, or trying to compensate for other issues that you may be having.
Yeah.
And so we want to make sure his blood pressure stays low as
Yeah,
well.
because I do have high blood pressure on top of it.
Yeah.
So I take a pill in the morning and I take a pill at night.
Right.
So we have to monitor that.
And his blood pressure has been phenomenal. So
Yeah.
we don't know what necessarily has contributed to it getting smaller. Again, I'm not medical or clinical. We just know we try to do the best we can to stay healthy and to do healthy
We got to do our part,
things, and
because
to stay stress free.
yeah, stress free as well. So we're very intentional. You may see this on our post that we always say we're very intentional about our lives. We take it very seriously. We have things in perspective. We always say health is wealth. Everybody has to grind, quote unquote, and do what they need to do. However, that takes second place to our health.
Yeah.
Because you can grind and have all the money, but if you're not here to enjoy it, what's the point?
And we try not to sweat the small stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like we've come a long way to, just enjoying life and not arguing and not,
Yeah.
don't get us wrong. We are, human. We argue, but not
It's not
really.
It's not as
not a lot.
when we have our arguments.
Yeah.
We be mad.
It's usually silly.
Be
silly
something
stuff.
silly. And I'll be like, all right, you want some tea tonight?
Right.
Oh,
You'll reach over and hold my hand.
I hold her hand. I did that other night. Matter of fact,
That's our method.
we sitting on the couch. She was in the chair.
I
was
was
in the
mad
couch.
about something.
She's sitting over there. I was like, and you grabbed it. I mean,
But I'm telling you, you guys, you
It's-
got to be thoughtful about your health. If you've got something going on, if you're symptomatic, we're going to do another podcast about sleep apnea, because Will does suffer from sleep apnea. And if you will talk a little bit about how that affects your heart as well. You think,
Yeah.
I'll just snore, but no, that's, to the point where you may be losing your breath. That's not normal. You got to
Yeah.
do something about that.
and I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to do the sleep apnea. Matter of fact, at first, I did it for like a week, and I was like, I can't do this. Took it off. And then when I went to see my doctor, they was like, you really need to use that because your heart is working harder
Right.
than
right.
it needs to.
Yeah.
And the reality is, Key and I, we're 51, and life ain't slowing down.
Yeah.
So as you get older, your body start to have issues. So it's like you have to be proactive, and that's what we are. We're very proactive because what we do today is going to impact us how we are tomorrow, in a sense.
Yes.
So I know a lot of us, we eat what we want to eat, and I'm fine, I'm not feeling it, but you don't know what's going on inside your body.
Yeah.
People look at you, just because you look healthy don't mean you're healthy.
Right.
People are like, oh, Will, you slim, you skinny, da da da. No.
But you are healthy.
I'm healthy,
You're healthy,
but I have a
but
heart
we have
issue.
things going on.
I have a heart issue, right?
That we manage.
I have high blood pressure. I have things, so I have to manage that. But if you don't know, if you don't go get your physicals and get the proper tests,
get your physical,
get your colonoscopies for those over 50. All that stuff you have to do because it's preventative, and you can make that adjustment so you can live longer.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Health is wealth, you guys.
Health is wealth, y'all.
Health is wealth.
We're gonna wrap this up, but we just want to come on and just really emphasize that your health is your number one priority. Don't, if your job is stressing you out, if your family is stressing you out, if your friends are stressing you out, take a break. Take a break.
Absolutely.
Because it's true. Trust me, it's not worth it to have a heart attack or have extremely high blood pressure. All this stuff. Take a break.
Yeah, take a break.
Take a break.
Take a walk. Like, do something for 30 minutes a day. I'm not as slender as I used to be. We'll talk about menopause and how that has taken over my life.
Look good to me. You look good to me, Kate.
But I do still work out. It may not look like it, but I do still work. We both still work out do something every day.
Every day.
And the days we don't, we're resting. So that's important, you guys. So thank you so much for tuning in.
Listen, do something. Health is wealth. Have an accountability partner.
Yes.
Because I'm lazy. People may not realize it. I'm lazy. This is my reason right here. So we encourage each other.
Yeah, we do.
Whether you got a girlfriend, your homeboy, your friends, your cousins, whatever, call somebody and say, hey man, let's commit to 2 times a week. Let's commit to 3 times a week. Let's commit to something, because trust me, your future self will thank you.
Absolutely.
Key and Will
Thank
in
you
the
guys
building, y'all.
for tuning in to our Key and Will podcast.
Shout out to the Fit Crew out there.
Follow us on Instagram at Key and Will, on Facebook.
Everywhere, Key and Will.
It's just put in
We
Key
got
and Will. Yes, thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure you like and subscribe and leave a comment. We love you guys. The more you know. The more you know.
All right, y'all. We love y'all.
All right, peace.